Greetings! Today I shall be analysing the film 13, directed by Catherine Hardwicke, based on the article Cinema, Ideology and Criticism by Jean-Luc Comolli and Jean Narboni. In this film, the only society speaks. Now, how does that happen? The new society that I will be explaining soon enough. And it is very prominent, the lines between good and evil, easy to discriminate. And there are characters whose objectives are harming solely. And there are some inserted or suited behaviors to black population, so-called, which I will be dwelling upon shortly. And it is also action-oriented story. And these actions define good and evil. And in this film, what is more significant than the question why? Now, I would like to start by saying that this film is an action-oriented film, even though it is a real-life story, where little focus is given on the reasons of the occurrences. In this film, the quality of a person is generally based on their actions that most believed to be wrong. Now, the film solely focuses on the behavioral change towards the words of Tracy and puts the others into the positions such as representatives of right and wrong paths. And rehabilitation is the good. For instance, mom and her boyfriend. However, her motives could be the real issue in this film. She does not solely become friends with Evie just because she finds her interesting. She's trying to be accepted among the cool kids, so they called. And she does anything she is told to do and in order to feel like an individual herself. And in this film, the good kids and the bad kids are easy to tell apart. Basically, if you listen to your mama and dress like a nerd who does her homework, you're good. And the bad kids are also represented by their attire, which seems to be mostly black, or by their skin of all things. Based on my last conclusion, I would like to question what sort of an ideology is being imposed upon the society. I mean, why are all the drug dealers black in this film? And also, in today's society, the problems and solutions are action-oriented. Is the real problem the drugs or the wrong friends? Society perceives her as the victim. This is a film where the good kids are good kids versus the bad kids. The actions are viewed as evil, but where little importance is given on one's motives. The innocent girl who wants to be noticed is a victim to be saved in society's eyes. But are the drugs or the parties the mother of all evil? Or maybe the actual evil should lie deeper. Maybe Tracy's motives are the real evil. But the society likes the idea of the resurrection of the corrupted. This could be a way of pleading mercy for the so-called corrupt kids by the director. And society is obviously always on the side of the victimized. Even though Evie experienced loss, society views her as too far gone to be saved. Her psychological state is mostly ignored in this film. And Evie may be thinking that Tracy is the one who betrayed her. Obviously, Tracy's salvation, so the movie tells us, lies in her mother's arms, basically, but what is Evie's? She's treated like she's beyond redemption at this point. The ending of this movie indicated the beginning of a gradual return to her mother's arms. However, unless the mother's attitude changes, Tracy will either harbor the same emotion that once pushed her to make some so-called wrong decisions, or otherwise she will be repressed as a character. During some scenes in the movie, her mother kind of intruded her personal space and wanted to see her when she was changing, or she wanted to come with her and her friend while they were going to shopping. This has to change because there's a girl who's growing up in the movie, and this ending also indicates a progressive, gradual return to, if I must say, the dream kit of every parent. For instance, with changing dominant ideology in the 21st century, the salvation was made possible in people's eyes. Tracy's mother and her boyfriend are a very good example of this. They're either past drug addicts or alcohol abusers, because we know that from a scene, from one of the first scenes, in which Tracy's mother talked about being 12 years sober on someone's behalf. Here, the representation of the possibility of finding the right path are present. This shows that the so-called corrupts may become responsible adults someday. This is a new dominant ideology, so I believe, shrinking us with some rebellion to go back to the safe territory at the end. And these people represent the future, after all. Thank you for listening.